Alright, so Google has notoriously used the same sensor in their camera since the Pixel 2 all the way to the Pixel 5a's. And you know, the fact that they decided to change it this year with the Pixel 6 just makes me wonder, what are we gaining by them changing the sensor? Now, I assume it's going to lead to better videos and better photos, but that's still an assumption. I also don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. So, in today's video, we're going to compare the Pixel 6 Pro's camera to the Pixel 5a and see how much we've gained with the new sensor, and especially with that big camera bar and the emphasis that Google has put on the camera. So yeah, this is it. This is the video you guys are seeing is from the main cameras of both these phones, recording at 4K 30 frames per second. Both these cameras are capable of doing 4K 60, but I'm going to go ahead and edit this video in 4K 30, and that's what I'm going to produce it in. So that's what you guys are seeing right now. And this is an example of an indoor shot, not great lighting. This is where most phones will struggle. So I'm hoping to see some differences between the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 6, the Pixel 5a and the Pixel 6 Pro. So yeah, and I'm going to get you guys outside to do lots more videos, lots more photos, because photo processing is also another important thing where hoping that they've made some changes, but we'll just have to see. So yeah, with that, let's get outside. All right, before we actually get outside, I do actually want to talk about the front-facing cameras as well. Now, the new front-facing camera on the Pixel 6 Pro is capable of recording at 4K 30 frames per second, whereas the Pixel 5a and actually the Pixel 6 are limited to 1080p at 30 frames per second. And one thing I can see just from looking at myself is the fact that the Pixel 6 Pro has a much wider field of view. I don't know if it's just the fact that it's not cropping in as much when it's recording video, but it is much wider on the Pixel 6 Pro than it is on the Pixel 5a. So just something to note, if you guys want a wider video, definitely the Pixel 6 Pro is just much better at it. Alright, and what we're looking at right now is indoor footage from the rear-facing cameras, again at 4K 30 frames per second. One thing I wanted to show off was the ultra-wide. Now, again, you can see the Pixel 6 Pro has just much wider footage than the Pixel 5, but if we go to the ultra-wide, it is just so much wider. Now, the quality on the ultra-wide is almost always going to be worse, and just what I'm seeing here on the viewfinder, I just assume it's going to be a lot worse. So, but I do want to go ahead and take some videos with it just so you guys can see what it looks like when you take ultra-wide video indoors and not very good lighting. Pixel 5a does have a 2x mode, but that is of course digital zoom. The Pixel 6 Pro also has a 2x that is also a digital zoom, but it also has a 4x, which should use the actual telephoto lens. Now, I don't think it is from looking at it. Like, the video quality here does not seem that great when I'm looking at the viewfinder, but we'll have to see when I get it into post-processing. But yeah, right now I would say the detail is not there with the 4x lens. All right, so let's go back to it one time. And now let's try out some outdoor shots, as I've been saying. All right, so now we are outdoors, and you guys can see all the leaves that are out here. Really need to clean this place up, but yeah. You guys can take a look at the video quality. From what I'm seeing here, the colors are a lot more vibrant on the Pixel 6 Pro than they are on the Pixel 5. Now, I don't know if that means it's better or not, but I will say it's actually a little bit more true to life, because it is very bright and colorful out here. Now let's switch over to the ultra wide again. Now, the ultra-wide on the Pixel 6 Pro does say it's a 0.7x magnification, whereas on the Pixel 5a it says a 0.6. So I guess the ultra-wide is slightly less wide than it is on the 5a. But again, colors look a lot better on the Pixel 6 Pro to my eyes than they do on the Pixel 5a. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the telephone. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to 4x on the 6 Pro, and then 2x, which is again digital zoom, on the 5a. And you can see there's a lot more detail. Like outdoors, I feel like it's actually using the telephoto lens, and there is just a lot more detail on the Pixel 6 Pro shots. Yeah, that's just a lot more detail. All right, switching back over to the 1x. All right, now we switch over to the front-facing camera again. The Pixel 6 Pro is much wider than the Pixel 5a, and obviously just the fact that it's recording at 4K versus 1080p is going to make a big difference here. But yeah, this is the kind of footage you guys can expect from the front-facing camera outdoors. When you got decent lighting, it's of course expected to be good, and I think it is better good. I think it is better. So yeah, yeah. All right, and now we are back taking videos at night. So it's really, really dark, lit up by this single lamp light right here. And yeah, this is the kind of video you guys can expect if you're trying to take video at night. Again, not something that's really recommended with smartphones, is taking something that's this dark, but hey, if you are doing it, this is the kind of video you can expect. Alright guys, so I just finished editing the video for this camera comparison between the 6 Pro and the 5a and some conclusions from this. So in terms of video, I would definitely say the Pixel 6 Pro is much better than the Pixel 5a, including the fact that it can do a much wider field of frame. So for example, I'm holding this at an arm's length right now, the Pixel 6 Pro, and it's much better. I don't have to use the ultra wide like I used to previously, and the main camera is much better than the ultra wide in terms of video and photo, so definitely I would lean towards that one. That's a great camera. But yeah, so in terms of video, I think it's definitely improved. In terms of photos, I think there is a difference, like especially the Pixel 6 Pro, I tend to trust it more indoors than I do with the Pixel 5a. It just usually gets the shot, like the fact that the Pixel 6 Pro's main camera sensor can capture 150% more light really does help it out when and getting indoor shots, especially the fact that it can just do a shorter time for the shutter to be open versus the Pixel 5a, which needs to be open a little bit longer, which usually leads to blurrier photos. So that's something that I definitely think the Pixel 6 Pro does much better as indoor photos. But honestly, considering how much they've hyped up this camera, it's not like a generational leap to me. To me, you're still getting, in most conditions, the same exact picture from both of these cameras. There is some slight differences. Like I said, the Pixel 6 Pro does tend to go a little bit higher in terms of exposure, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. So that's good news for anybody who owns a Pixel 5a, and for anybody who's considering upgrading to a Pixel 6 Pro. I would still say this is an amazing camera, and the fact that they've improved on video is a great thing. So yeah, with that, that's pretty much it for this video. Like this if you liked it, subscribe if you guys loved it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!